I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Izzy, and this is the after episode of the gaslighting. So the gas has been lit.
The gaslighting episode. But before we do get into gaslighting, we have been absolutely decimated by Hurricane Irma, or not Irma. That was the hurricane before that just blew Ian. These eye hurricanes, I can't stand them.
Do you know what it reminds me of when I hear it? Because have you seen High Fidelity, that movie with John Cusack?
No, but now I wish I had.
Oh, it's so awesome because like he falls in love with this girl, they break up, and then she starts dating this guy Ian, and he like John Cusack doesn't know, and his like friend calls him, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry you guys broke up, blah blah," and she's like, "I don't really like this Ian guy." And he's like, and then he hangs up the phone. He's like, what? Ian guy.
Yeah.
And Ian's like a total chode. And like,
you know, Ian is a chode, let me tell you, because we did not expect Ian to come this way. And it came this way at the very last minute. He was supposed to go up to Tampa, and just all of a sudden he just took a hard right, which I've done after a few martinis.
You're like, oh, there's my exit.
Shit. Oh, God. What am I doing? I got to go. Yeah, and just absolutely decimated the area. And I'm going to tell you, it is worse than it's worse than they're telling you at this point. It's really hard.
So, like, what for us, you know, like, what happened? So, you guys... You didn't evacuate because there was no need for you guys to.
We chose not to evacuate because we honestly thought it was going north and west. So at the last minute, they gave us, a mandatory evacuation. And by that time, it was too late. There was nowhere to go. And it was like, I mean, we're across the street from the ocean, the Gulf, Yeah. And so we wrote it out. My mom and Poppy came over, and we were all set up. And it was going well. The storm started coming in, and it was just like a bad tropical storm. And then I looked outside, and I saw about a foot of water coming up from the ocean, and within the hour, it was like 4 to 6 feet tall of water. And here I'm just thinking, oh my God, like these low-lying places, like in our old neighborhood, like it's just, I was just picturing it, and it was worse than I pictured. There were people that had to be saved. It's really bad, really, really bad.
So like, what happens the days after? Like, what do you do? What did you do today?
Well, the first day I got up. Our cars were in the parking garage. Jason's car just absolutely gone. My parents' car gone, and then I call it the schlo. I have this GMC Denali, like rude big car, and so we went out because I was determined to get to my sister, who's in this neighborhood called Bonita Shores. And the last call I got from her was like at 6 or 7 o'clock. I might be like off there, and then I couldn't get through to her. She goes, "We're taking on water," and like,
oh my gosh, that's
so
scary.
Awful. And so I was determined to get to my sister, and I call her the marshmallow. My car, I call her the schlo. And we got in the schlo. It had 4 inches of water in the floorboards, and we just took off over there, and I brought some bleach. We got all the water out of her house, and then that was exhausting. And then we just, you just keep going. Like yesterday morning, I just got up and made a bunch of sandwiches and just got out and beat the streets. There are workers. Like it's funny, like this all happens and then people don't know what to do, so they just show up and work. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
we were giving out sandwiches. There was this beautiful older man, Sunshine is his name. He's 94 years old.
Oh
The
my
surge
goodness.
came in and it got up to he had to get out. He had to, he stayed. He's right on the water. And he climbed up into his attic with a ladder, 94 years old, and he rode it out there. But the problem was when he went to get down, the ladder had been taken away from with the surge. So he tied an electrical cord to get out of his attic. And when his neighbors found him, he was crawling into his wet bed to go to bed. I
Oh.
know. I mean, I could sit here and tell
Oh.
you stories and stories. There,
After
yeah,
stories,
there's just
yeah.
all these stories. So, needless to say, I ended up with his laundry. I'm dropping that off when we get out of here. He
Yeah.
has nothing. He has absolutely nothing. There are so many people. We went through this neighborhood, Bonita Shores. That's the one I'm talking. I'm saying it a lot because Naples is getting a lot of press, and Fort Myers is getting a lot of press. And there's this little place in the middle that just there's this Fort Myers Beach that got decimated, but Bonita Shores is right there, and they are not getting as I feel like they're not getting as much. So that's kind of where I'm putting my focus and my energy is in Bonita Shores. So yeah,
Okay.
and there are people there are rich people that are in the neighborhood, but I'm going to say the majority of people that are just like normal people, and there are people that are living check to check. There are people that have no help. There are people that are just in a state of shock and confusion. They have no idea where to call, how to get a hold
Yeah.
of FEMA. It's a mess. It's a mess. And I would say, if you have any tools or if you can come down and just be a worker bee, that would be the best way to help that particular neighborhood. Because, I mean, there was this guy, Jay, I walked upon, and he was just sitting there, and he's like, my home is destroyed. I have nowhere to go. I have no one. And I'm just like, okay, I just grabbed his hands. I'm like, it's gonna get better from here. We're gonna like just one step at a time. I go, eat that sandwich. He's like, I'm not hungry. Give it to somebody who needs it more. I'm like,
You're like,
you need it.
eat it.
You need it more. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
really bad. And, so I say one good person doing one good thing at a time, and we're gonna get through this. That's what we're gonna do. You just go out and help.
That's
Yeah.
it. And you just do the best you
You
can.
do the
and
best
that's
you
all
can.
do.
If you can't come down, you send money. If you can't send money, you go through your shit and send clothes. Like, people have nothing. You
Yeah.
know?
It's just like it's so strange that you're like mentioning all this because this is exactly how things were going on when the conflict in the Ukraine started, when the war started. We just had we had about 1 million displaced Ukrainians coming into Warsaw, no homes. They had like a plastic bag of stuff.
They have nothing.
And it was the same deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They lost their homes, everything. So it was the same deal. We were taking people into our homes,
Yep.
In Poland.
Yep.
Like, we were just people were just like getting in their cars, going to the train station, picking people up, taking them
Yep.
home. And that's
It's a
it,
war zone.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah,
thing
it's
is
very
we're
sad.
in the war against Mother Nature,
Yeah, which is like
Eh,
not an easy
No,
one to win.
you don't win it. You
Yeah.
just you survive
don't.
it.
Yeah.
You're a survivor, and I just
Yeah.
kept saying that word because it's an empowering word.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know what it's like to survive. And when you finally say that word instead of victim, then the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
So
we're the survivors of the hurricane rather than the victims of the hurricane.
We
I
are
love that.
surviving.
Yeah.
And it only goes up from here, and just all the good people in the world are going to come together and just make little things happen. That actually, I had people, were handing out turkey sandwiches, driven to tears from a turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not the turkey sandwich, it's showing up and looking in them in the eyes and saying you're not alone. You know, that is what it means to you just not be alone. It feels really good not to be alone. So
it's so funny.
you know, and
I've been when
I'm sorry.
In times
And
of no. Go ahead.
We're just well, and I got to tell to our listeners, like, this is the first time Izza and I have been able to look at each other, and it's very emotional. Like, you know, it was like, you know, she kept texting me, and I couldn't get through. There was no signal.
I know, and I was like looking. I'm like, there's only one check on the WhatsApp, and I'm like, I just kept looking, like, when is the second check? And when the second check came through, I'm like, woo! The second check came through. And Magic's like, what?
It's been like, we're kind of like, we wanted to experience this on the podcast, so we're going to be a little bit energetic here. But I have been you in it, and I have been me in it, and the people that are far away, it is so scary for. And like, when Irma hit the Virgin Islands with all the people I love on that island, it was terrifying not to be able to be here and be able to be on the front lines of it. And so I feel for you and a lot of other people in this, where you can't just get in and be like, okay, we're going to put our galoshes on and we're going to fucking bleach some shit. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You know? So, but it's bad. So if you can do anything, everybody out there, please do something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We've been dropping off supplies at St. Matthew's House, which is a really great charity. You know, I normally don't support anything in the church, but these people are different. They're really good. They always have been. They're actually like Jesus. So, So St. Matthew's House is a good one. You can go right online and find them and, you know, donate.
And then for people like I think we should do something like, I think we should have a survivor shirt and we should donate proceeds to help.
Let's do it. Let's just do that. Okay. And then when all these people are out of need, then we'll take that shirt and that hat and we will donate to other survivors. You know, right now it's hurricane survivors, but there's assault survivors. A survivor is a survivor is a survivor.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool. Yay. So, I love that we're going to be doing something like that.
Let's do that. Good. All right. That's done.
Yay. That's done. All right. Gaslighting.
It seems minuscule, but it's not. It's actually worse to be in a relationship with a gaslighter.
The hurricane sort of gaslit, didn't it? It's like
it gaslit the fuck out of us. We thought we were doing one thing and we were actually doing another.
It's like, I'm not really going north, I'm going right.
Yep, I am telling.
And that's me as a chick. I'm like, not north, right.
Yeah.
Ian is actually a woman. He's like, north? I don't know where that is. I'm going to go right.
Yeah. At the second stop sign, I'm going right.
My dad, like, whenever I talk to my dad and he would give me directions, he'd always be like, go north. And I'm like, I don't know where that is.
Isn't that one of the,
I don't have a compass.
Isn't that one of the Kardashians' children? I don't get it.
Dad, what? Am I supposed to go to California now? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Ian
actually gaslit us like pretty bad. Yeah.
He did.
Definitely made us feel helpless. Definitely made us feel like we were losing our minds. Definitely made us put us in survival mode and cortisol filled, and that's what gaslighting does. It really does.
Yeah, and I love our segue from the hurricane to gaslighting. It was very good.
We are queens of the segue.
So we are. So we can make a segue from anything.
We can segue the hell out of it.
Give me 2 topics. I'm going to just segue them. Like, any topic will do.
Corn curls and like hypocrisy. I got it. Oh my God.
So gaslighting, Kristen Thrasher. Thrasher, I love her surname. That's the book we read on gaslighting. So it was super
It was
interesting. What did
gaslighting
you
in
think of the book?
relationships, and I've got to say, like,
Yeah.
it was one of the best books I've written. Sorry, I just stole that. That's my book now. No,
Yeah, sorry, Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen, we're so sorry. She did a great job with it because she didn't fuck around and fluff anything.
I'm sorry, but I loved it because it was like, what? It was I think an hour long, hour and a half
Maybe.
to listen to.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you. That's how long all books should be.
Seriously.
Like, unless you're writing War and Peace or like a novel, self-help books should not be 7 hours.
Seriously, right now I'm reading Life Force. It's 22 hours long by Tony Robbins. I know you already have a problem with Tony, but I want to change that.
You're not going to convince me by trying to get me to listen to 22 hours of Tony Robbins. That's for sure.
Okay, all right. I'm starting out underwater. Okay, I know that.
Okay, guys, like just for our listeners, I hate Tony Robbins, and I will say it, and I don't hate anybody.
And I
I'm
love
a
Tony
loving
Robbins.
person,
so
this is going to be a really great episode the next
Yeah.
time. Should we just do it next?
yeah, we're doing it
I think we
next.
should do it next.
We need a Life
All right.
Force right now for sure.
Yeah. Lizzie hates me, so she wants me to listen to 22
I wanna
hours of
punish her.
Tony Robbins. Yeah. Here's your hurricane, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
22 hours of Tony Robbins. No!
He does have other readers, so you can,
Okay.
it's not
All right.
that bad.
All right. So gaslighting in relationships, what was like the most, anything change for you, or like what did you get out of this book? What's the after bit?
I knew everything. Again. But I just, it was reaffirmed. All my feelings from when I was being gaslit were reaffirmed. And, I'm able to like see it so clearly now. You have to read this book. Everyone should read this book.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this book did what your therapist did when you were being gaslit by that person and you went to see your therapist, one session, he just validated your feelings.
He said you're not the problem. She is.
And that was it. And this is what this book does.
Yes.
Like, so that's fantastic. You can, save a little money on therapy.
You don't
and just
have to
read this
even
book.
go to therapy. Just do this. I mean, like they were saying in it, you feel powerless. And you do. When you're in a relationship like this, you don't have any power. And the reason is because the reason people gaslight is for power. They're trying to control you.
Yeah. Yes. Unless it's the accidental gaslighting, which we'll talk about in a bit. But there is accidentally, like, I think I gaslight sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think
there's the malicious gaslighting and then there's the accidental gaslighting.
Yeah. And I don't think that, okay, so tell us your story about this gaslighting.
No, I mean, it's so funny because she had the whole chapter on ADHD and how ADHDers, people with ADHD, are more susceptible to gaslight and to be gaslit because they just forget. They're so like all over the place that they just honestly forget. So what I realized is Maciek and I gaslight each other because I'll tell him something and he'll just honest to God forget. And then he'll say like, you didn't tell me. And I'm like, yes, I did. And he thinks I'm gaslighting him. And I think he's gaslighting me.
You guys are
I'm
gaslighting each other.
We're like gas 69ing each
Yes.
other and it's awful. Or gas, and no one likes that. No
No,
one likes
it's
the
not good for
69. I mean,
anybody. It's too much.
no, it's horrible. So I'm thinking he's like, I'm questioning my reality because he's like, you never told me that. And I'm like, oh my God, I so did. And then he thinks, he's questioning his reality. Like she's trying to tell me that she told me something which she never told me.
Yeah.
So and that is like, I thought that was super interesting. And that was an aha moment for me because I have experienced that with Maciek so many times where I've told him something and he's like, you never told me that. And I get infuriated. When you question your own reality and you know something is true and somebody questions it, I get filled with rage.
Yeah, the armpits start to sweat.
Infuriating. I'm like, I fucking told you.
Yes.
And my head starts spinning.
I told you we needed half and half. God, why don't you listen to me?
He's like, you never did. So I thought that was interesting. And actually it allowed me to like chill out a bit. Like, I'm like, oh my God, it's just not, he's not gaslighting me. It's just his ADHD. So I thought that was
I think I have ADHD now that I read that chapter. I'm like, people gaslight me all the time. And I'm so undetail oriented. Yeah. And I forget things all the time because I look at it like this, and this is probably like my first therapy session to find out I'm ADHD, but like I look at it as I only have so much room in my brain and I'm taking in so much all the time that I push the nonsense out. And maybe the nonsense is something that's important to, let's say, Jason.
Let's say, for example,
the person I live with. You know? But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I don't think that should be called gaslighting, though.
No. It's because it's not intentional.
Gaslighting is
not intentional gaslighting.
Power grabs is what it is.
But the thing that she did say, like, that if you have ADHD, watch out, because I probably shouldn't have admit this, but I have
done it.
when I've forgotten to do something, and he's like, did you do that? I'm like, yeah, you know, like I will use his forgetfulness against him. And I you know what? This book made me feel bad about it, so I'm not going to do it.
It actually makes me feel bad about Jason because I think he's done it to me. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, I could.
Good for you.
You know, yeah, but I'm going to become a better person after this book.
Oh.
I'm not going to abuse my ADHD partner.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's an epiphany. You're turning over a new leaf.
It is. Yeah.
Wow. Or are you just going to say you turned it over?
I'm gaslighting you right now.
You're gaslighting me.
I never said that,
I won't
Lindsay.
remember it. It's okay. It's so funny.
That reminds me. Oh,
no, I want to hear what you're reminded about.
No, I'm just reminded of, I used to date this guy who I used to tell, because I love storytelling. So I used to like tell these stories, and then I was mid-story and I realized I had already told him this story. So I stopped and he's like, what? And I'm like, you know, I tend to repeat myself. I tend to repeat the same stories because that's okay, because I tend to forget. So he thought I was super entertaining all the time.
Oh my God, he's like
I would
Dory.
tell him, like, these stories. Yeah, he's like Dory.
Yeah, I think I'm sort of like
Yeah.
Dory too. I want to hear it all over and over and over and over again. And I want to tell it over and over again.
Oh, it's too funny.
But when you're being gaslit on purpose, what about these bitches? I mean, I'm telling you, they're bad.
I know. I think we should, this book, listen to it, recognize it, and then fail fast. Get out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they're bad. They really, and a good example of this is in a friendship. If you notice that all kinds of people are coming to you with the same sort of issue, that means that friend is talking behind your back and getting people to bring things up to you. It was constantly happening in this particular relationship. And, you know, I think that that's a really good sign in a friendship. And in a relationship, you can get, like, they'll try to get your family to go against you and bring up things, weird things like that. And I think that that's really important too. Yeah. You notice I have a D cup?
Yeah. I was gonna make a T-shirt the other day that I put the D in ADHD. Like I thought
that's funny.
But then it was like too long. I don't like T-shirts with like too long.
Yeah.
Like where you have to read. Like I just like the one word T-shirts.
I think it should be I'm a D. I'm a D.
Yeah. Or just D.
Just a D.
One other thing that was interesting about this book is what I realized is how often the media and politicians gaslight. And I'm going to be more aware of that. Like, we're probably getting gaslit all the time. Like, I'm sure there was so much of that going around with COVID. And
Yeah.
I just, like, I really am going to pay attention to
Yeah.
politics and what's going on in the world. Even though I don't like
They
to.
even I hate politics. I hate the news. I hate a lot of the world in this way. But like, they had brought up the term fake news happened.
Yeah.
And all news is fake news. And I'm thinking, well, some news is not fake because like there is like a hurricane just hit us. Believe that, guys. That's not the media. Like
That's not fake news.
that's actually real. But you just began to think all news is fake. You didn't believe
Yeah.
any of it.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
we're going to have to go with our gut, which is one of the things that this book tells you to do, which is actually use your own brain.
Yeah. That's one. And another one is write things down, which I've started doing. Like, write it down.
Yeah. Well,
So it's just so I don't question my own reality later.
yeah, that's a real, like, brings up a point, journaling. I hate
Yeah.
journaling. I fucking hate it. It makes me feel like a failure. I have so many journals that it's like a paragraph, and then it ends up being a eternal grocery list maker.
Yeah.
Like I just
Yeah.
can't.
My journals, I mean, right now I have this journal, and they're all, I mean, my journals are a mess.
Oh my God.
They're just
Mine
a
are a
mess. They're like
disaster.
notes, like they're horrible. Like, my handwriting's bad. They're upside down. Like, look at, what is that?
Oh my God. If I showed you mine, it is like the most, I mean, to give you just a clue, it says 5 o'clock wake. That's just one thing I wrote in there. It's
And my friend got me this nice journal, and she wrote a little like a little thing for me. And what do? I just poop in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just pooped. It's just like
yeah.
look at my notes. Are these notes?
I don't know. I've got something in here, fetal position, recording, screenshots. That's it. What a loser. I'm telling you, it makes it, the whole thing makes me feel like a loser. Journaling makes me feel bad about myself. And I've had it. Fuck journaling. And then my friend Jess has been journaling for years. Like, I mean, she journals. She's going to leave those to her children. And I got to say, the thoughts that come up here, I don't want Scarlett taking with her forever.
I did journal or whatever, kept a diary when I was in rehab, and it is the best.
Oh.
I'm like, wow, I was so full. I should read it one episode. Just read it. We can make fun of it.
I would love to make fun of your innermost thoughts.
It's the best. I was so pathetic.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we should do an episode on how pathetic I was.
I would love to do that. I would absolutely.
That's the before and after. Like, we'll read the. We'll do my journal.
Yeah. Oh my.
My pathetic drug journal.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. Oh my God,
right.
that would be so awesome.
Well, what do you-
I want to say, like, if you feel like there's a couple of feelings that you need to watch out for. If you feel powerless, which I brought up, you feel like everyone's against you. You feel like you can't stick up for yourself or you're going to cause trouble in a relationship. And this is not just a lovership. This is a friendship too. Or even at work, this can be happening. You start to...
This can happen everywhere.
You
Yeah.
start to think you are what they are saying you are. Like somebody said I was passive aggressive. Everyone that truly knows me knows I am not passive at all. That's the one thing I'm not. Call me
I am straight up
aggressive.
aggressive.
I am only aggressive. I'm aggressive when I love you. I'm aggressive when I hate you. I'm aggressive when I adore you. Like, I hump every pillow I come across. It's just the way it is. But I started to think I was passive aggressive, and I was thinking, oh my God, am I being passive aggressive when I ask for something? Like, am I saying it passive aggressively?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a sense of impending doom, like you feel like something's coming and you don't know what it is. That's a huge one. You feel threatened or on edge. That is a huge one. I felt that so badly, and the next one is you're confused. I could not do anything right for the relationship. I was trying to fix it.
Yeah, that's the worst. When you're trying to figure out what is the best formula to deal with this person, and you're trying to figure out what moves to make.
What am I doing wrong
to navigate this relation? Yeah, that's
what
awful.
could I do better? And these people who do this, they love people who are self-accountable. They love you because, and you really have to watch out, because if you're self-accountable, you'd rather take the blame because you want to be able to control it. You know, if you say you're wrong, then you can control it.
Yeah.
It's not, they want your kind of people. You find yourself apologizing constantly, and you can't, there's nothing, you just simply cannot do anything right. You question the details of your reality. That's when you said you should write things down. You start to distrust yourself. You start to feel like you're never good enough. And they're meaning to undermine your perception of reality. That's what you have to understand about gaslighting. They're meaning to do it.
Yeah.
They want to turn other people against you. They want to take your power. They want to suck it out of you. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to be in control of you and the people around you. And in my certain case, she wanted to control everyone around me.
Yeah.
That's it. So, they'll use distracting, denying, blaming, manipulating. They will absolutely do anything that they can to make sure they're the right one, you're the wrong one, and that they win. They're bullies.
Yeah.
They're shitburgers.
What's the solution? I'm sick of this bitch. I think we should stop talking about her. I'm done with her.
Yeah.
We need to drop her ass because we've put too much focus on her. Like, let's just drop her ass.
Yeah. If she wasn't hurting other people still, I would be like, yeah, we could.
Yeah.
But yes, we should. But the ways the ways that I could have fixed the situation early on would be to trust my gut, and walk away. Just walk away. Do not try to fix it.
I think trusting the gut, that's super important.
Yes.
Like, to be really centered in yourself and who you are and what you feel.
Yes.
And not questioning that. And that takes a lot of strength.
Yeah, because when the mirrors start to look smoky, they're putting smoke in mirrors. They're trying to divert and confuse you to the point. And if I would have trusted my gut and known that I was a good person and known that I was trying my best and had the best of intentions, I would have just walked away. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just, and if you know you haven't done anything wrong, don't apologize. Tell everyone to fuck off.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that, knowing that good people and kind people are more likely to be gaslit, you have to be on guard a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because they see, it's almost like they're predators and they see the prey, not the weaker prey, but the prey, I don't know if you have this, but I'm always surrounded by psychopaths.
Well, I mean, I take that.
And Magic always says this because you're helping people. I always get the crazies like are drawn to me, right?
Well, you are willing to connect. People like us are willing
Yeah.
to connect with broken and pain. And that is a huge asset, and that is our superpower. But our superpower power has a kryptonite.
Yeah.
All superpowers do, and they can circle back and
Yeah.
be your weakest point, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
So good.
everyone read this book. It is so good.
Yeah, I loved it. I
so
really loved
good.
it. I loved that it was short, to the point, and I loved the practical solutions. Like, trust your gut, write things down. It's like super easy stuff, you
Yeah.
know. It is not easy to walk away from a gaslighter, but it's easy to stand to stand your own ground and like just really get in touch with yourself.
Can I tell you something? Now, not if you're
Yeah.
married to this person, but if you're not married to him, it's actually easier than you're telling yourself it is. They're making you think it's hard. They want you
Yeah.
they want you to want them. But they
Yeah.
make you think it's hard, but really it's really easy. You just walk away.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. And the sense of freedom that comes
Oh.
is fantastic. It is so fantastic. There's nothing like it, not even heroin.
yeah.
Trust me.
Well, I can't I'm going to have to take your word on that one. I haven't done heroin yet.
Those are
Never
the
say
yets.
never. Oh my God. That's my one scary drug. And meth. And now some of the pills, you don't want the fentanyl and that stuff. You don't want that.
No. Yeah.
No.
All right, girls. So what, are we doing Tony Robbins next?
Tony Robbins as a whole. We're going to read all of his books and watch all of his movies. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm reading Life Force,
All right.
but I'd like you to read a different
Wait.
one.
Well, what's the topic that we're going to cover? Should we just do a topic on like not on first impressions and not liking people, and then just read these books and see if anything changes?
I think we should have a topic on modern day gurus.
Ooh, okay.
And just let's talk about that, because there's so many. We could do a couple of them if we wanted to.
Okay.
I like to kind of do things that we did this for Jason, because I'm pretty sure he was being passive aggressive and like telling me I'm gaslighting him, but whatever. But I like to.
He's like, why don't you do a book on gaslighting?
Why don't you do a
yourself?
Why don't you do a book on bitchiness? That would be awesome. I'm like, hey, I've already got the cunt hat. I am not.
You're like, I have a better idea. I'll do a book on modern day gurus.
Modern day gurus. So let's do.
All right, that's our topic.
Modern day guru, and let's choose Tony Robbins because he is a force. And we'll just he's got a book, or he's got a Netflix show called I'm Not Your Guru, and that can be your homework.
All right, fine.
I would love it. I want to change
see you
your
next
mind
week.
on Tony Robbins so bad.
All right, I love you.
I love you so much. And we'll talk soon. Actually, let's stay on and
right.
chit and chat. And
Chit and chat. All
I
right.
love you so much. See you
Love you
next
too.
Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Rate and follow us if you like us. If you don't, please don't.
And come visit us at www.theweneedhelppodcast.com. There you can find show notes, links for books. You can join Audible, which is, how we actually read our books. We listen to them. And we have special exclusive content just for you. Also, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon account. That's where you can support us financially because we need it. And it can be anywhere from $1 to $100 billion a month, whatever you can afford. And the link to our Patreon account is www.patreon, and that's spelled patreon.com/We Need Help Podcast. And you can support us on there. We would really appreciate it because we do need help.
Awesome. And we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Thanks,
Bye.
loves. Bye.